Hello students, in the previous classes we have learned about the modern periodic table. In this class we are going to study about the lanthanides and the actinides, then electronic configuration of elements and the nomenclature of elements. Now let's discuss the lanthanides and the actinides of the periodic table. First we have lanthanides. This series consists of total 14 elements and it belongs to the 6th period of the periodic table. This element shows very similar chemical properties because they have the gradual filling of the 4f orbitals. Right. Then next is the actinoids. So this series also contains the 14 elements and it belongs to the 7th period of the periodic table. Okay. So in actinoids the 5f orbitals are gradually filled. Okay. In actinides, 5f orbitals are gradually filled. Most actinides are the radioactive and many of them are synthetic and man-made. Okay. They are radioactive. Some are synthetic and man-made. Okay. So you have to remember some important points of lanthanides and the actinides. So lanthanides consist 14 elements. It belongs to the 6th period and electrons unfilled in a 4f orbitals. And the actinides also contain the 14 elements and it belongs to the 7th period and the electrons are filled in a 5f orbitals. And the elements of actinides are radioactive, synthetic and man-made. Okay, so this is all about the lanthanides and the actinoids. Now, let's understand why a systematic nomenclature was needed for elements with atomic number greater than 100. Okay, so scientists have synthesized many more elements in a laboratories. These newly synthesized elements are highly unstable and usually exist for a very short time before they decay. Okay, and since different research groups discovered these elements independently, different scientists sometimes suggest different names for the same element. This created confusion in the scientist community. To solve this problem, IUPAC, which stands for the International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry, introduced a systematic temporary naming system. So, you have to remember some important points of this slide that elements with atomic number greater than 100 are generally synthetic and the unstable. Okay, these are synthetic and the highly unstable. Different scientists may propose different names for the same element. To avoid confusion, IUPAC assigned a systematic temporary name. Once the discovery is verified, elements receive its official name and the symbol. Okay. Now let's learn how IUPAC assign a temporary names to elements with an atomic number greater than 100. To create this temporary names, IUPAC uses specific words roots for each digit from 0 to 9. Okay. From 0 to 9, these roots are combined according to the atomic number of the elements. Let's look at the notation. 0 is represented by the nil and its abbreviation is N, right? And the digit 1 is represented by Un and its abbreviation is U. And the digit 2 is Bi and its abbreviation is B. Tri, that is 3 and its abbreviation is T. Quad, that is 4 and its abbreviation is Q. Then pent is P. Hex is H. Sept is S and oct means O and in means 9, that is E. Okay, these roots are joined together in the same order as the digit of the atomic number and the ending IUM. Okay, that is IUM is added to form the temporary element name. Similarly, the symbol of the element is formed by taking the first letter of each root. For example, the atomic number is 119. Okay, atomic number is 119. 1 means Un, 1 means Un and 9 means ENN, right? This Un and EN. So the temporary name becomes unanium. Okay. Okay. So this is the temporary name of these elements, that is 119. And the symbol is, we can write the symbol U, U and E. Okay. So this is the name and symbol of these elements. This systematic method ensures that every newly discovered element has a unique and internationally accepted temporary name until IUPAC approves its official name. Okay. Now let's understand the rules used by IUPAC to assign a temporary names to element with an atomic number greater than 100. Okay. So the naming process very simple and follow the 4 steps. First step is write the numerical roots corresponding to each digit of the atomic number. Step 2 is arrange these roots in the same order as the digit appear in the atomic number. And third step is add the suffix that is IUM at the end to form the temporary element name. And step 4 is to form the symbol and take the first letter of each numerical roots. Okay. Now let's understand the rules used by IUPAC to assign a temporary names to element with atomic number greater than 100. The naming process is very simple and follow the 4 steps. Step 1 to write the numerical roots corresponding to the atomic number. Step 2 is arrange the roots in the same order as the digit. Step 3 is add the suffix IUM at the end. Step 4 is the symbol is formed using the first letter of each root. Suppose let's take an example atomic number that is 120. Okay, the atomic number is 120. 1 means un, 2 means bill and 0 means mil. So the temporary name is unbillnilium and the symbol is UBN. Okay, using these simple rules, IUPAC can assign a unique temporary name and symbol to every newly discovered elements until its official name is approved. Okay, now let's understand the relationship between the electronic configuration and the periodic table. What is electronic configuration? Electronic configuration is the distribution of electron in a different shell, subshell and the orbital of an atom is called electronic configuration. In simple words, we can say that it tells how the electrons are arranged around the nucleus. But why is electronic configuration is so important? The answer is that the position of an element in the modern periodic table depends on the electronic configuration of its outermost electrons, also called the valence electrons. Okay, elements with a similar outer electronic configuration are placed in the same group because they exhibit the similar chemical properties. Similarly, the number of shells determine the period in which the element is placed. Electronic configuration helps us determine the group of element, period of element, even predict its chemical behavior. Even its predict chemical behavior. Okay. Therefore, electronic configuration forms the foundation of the modern periodic table. By knowing the arrangement of electrons, we can easily understand an element's position and the properties. Okay. Now, let's understand how electronic configuration determine the periods in the modern periodic table. The period number of an element corresponds to the highest principal quantum number and it is represented by n. In simple words, it is highest energy level or the shell that contains the electrons. As we move from left to right, electrons are added to the same principal energy level but they enter different subshells such as SPDF. Okay, SPDF shell. These are shell that is SPDF. Let's look at each period one by one. First period, only the 1s subshell is filled, so it contains the two elements that is hydrogen and helium. Okay, hydrogen and helium. Second period, electrons filled with the 2s and 2p subshell giving a total 8 elements. Third period, okay, so third period that is 3s and 3p subshell. So this period also the 8 elements. Fourth period is electrons occupy 4s and then 3d, 4s, 3d and then 4p, resulting total 18 elements. Fifth period, the filling order is 5s, 4d and 5p. So it also contains the 18 elements. Sixth period, here's the 6s, 4f and 5d then 6p subshell are filled, giving a total 32 elements. Seventh period, electrons filled 7s, 5f, 6d and 7p. This period can accommodate up to 32 elements, although it was incomplete when the table was originally developed. So, here's an important formula to remember. The number of elements in a period. The number of elements in a period is equal to twice the number of orbitals available in the energy level being filled. Okay, so this formula explains why the first period contains the 2 elements, second and third period contain the 8 elements, fourth and fifth period contain the 18 elements each, and sixth and seventh period contain the 32 elements. Okay, you have to remember some important points of this slide. The highest principal quantum number use the period number, that is n. the subshell being filled determine the number of elements in that period. Okay, so this is all about the electronic configuration in periods. Now let's understand one of the most important concept of the periodic table, that is group-wise electronic configuration. Okay, as we already know, the vertical column in the modern periodic table are called groups. There are total 18 groups and the elements present in the same group show the similar chemical properties. But why do they behave similarly? The reason is simple. Elements of the same group have the same number of valence shell. Because of this, they have a similar valence shell electronic configuration. Okay, and since chemical properties mainly depends on the outermost electron, they show similar chemical behavior. Okay, let's take the example of group 1, that is alkali metals. Here we have lithium with the electronic configuration Vns2 and the 2s1, sodium that is Ne3s1, potassium that is Ar4s1, Kr5s1, Zd Xc6n1 and Rn 7s1. Notice something very interesting. Although the total number of electron increases from lithium to francium, right? Each element has only one electron in its outermost shell. Their valence shell electronic configuration is Ns1, right? That is why all group 1 elements have similar properties. They are all highly reactive metals and usually lose 1 electrons to form +1 ion. Now let's look at some important group and their valence shell configuration. Group 1, that is alkali metal and its electronic configuration is Ns1. Group 2, that is alkali earth metal and its electronic configuration is Ns2. Group 30, that is boron group, okay, and its electronic configuration is Ns2 and Np1. Group 70, that is halogen, okay, boron group and the halogen group. Halogen group means fluorine, chlorine, bromine and iodine. Okay, these are some halogens. So group 17 element, that is halogen and its electronic configuration is Ns2 and P5. Next is group 18 and its electronic configuration is Ns2 Np6. Okay, but except helium, because the helium electronic configuration is 1s2. Okay, so you have to remember some important points of this slide. Elements in the same group have the same valence shell electronic configuration because they have the same number of valence electrons and they show similar chemical properties, even though their atomic number and total number of electrons are different. So this is all about the electronic configuration in groups and periods. That's all for today's class. We will continue in the next class. Until then, take care.